Hi there, Sandra here. I'm going to go through all the new functions that are in Shortcuts Lot 6. So I've got my crib sheet here, courtesy of Sandy. I'm going to go through them all. I have been beta testing the latest version, and now that it is actually released, I can tell you a bit more about it. From the user interface, the main screen, i.e. here, shapes can now be positioned above and to the left of the page boundaries. So we can actually go to View and we can zoom out. For some reason, and I don't know why it is, I get a grey block appearing every time I open up. Nobody else seems to have found this problem, but I get it. It doesn't make any difference. I just click and it goes away, but it does appear. So now we can put things around the edges if we so wish. You can toggle the project bar on and off. So if we go to View, hide the project bar disappears. It gives you a bit more room. That's what it is. You can do the same with a page bar. So now you have a choice whether you want to see them or not. Customizable arrow shape. Now this is down here and we now have an arrow. So I will just draw an arrow here and you can do different shapes, sizes, whatever of arrows. It's just a different shape in the toolbox. You're now able to reverse selected shapes, fill and stroke colors from the fill and stroke panel. I can go to here and this, I am told, is called a hamburger. Sort of. Yeah, I just call it a context menu. So we can swap the fill and the stroke. And there you go. So now I'm going to swap it back again. We now have a pop-up menu of 51 basic colours and custom colours. And this, let's go for the fill item. We have basic colours and then we have custom colours, so you can put your own colours in there. But we have the basic colours and you just scroll up and down and decide which ones you want. So you have more colour options. We can replace colours in shapes by using the tool panel. So if I've got, let's go for this one down here, I can go here and this is going to copy the fill and stroke, or I've got old colour to new colour. So if I go on the old one, click that, and I want the new colour to be red, and then replace it, then you get that. So you can change the colour. Fill stroke panel on the icon again. Select all shapes with a particular fill or stroke colour. I can say use this one as an example, and my fill colour, come over here and select all with the same fill, and it will do that. And then if you want to, you can right click and you can group them. So this is handy if you don't have the Pro version, which allows you to cut by colour in the cut window. You can group all your colours in here and then you just switch your layers on and off and you just cut whichever one you want. If you choose to go from here, you can just cut selection, in which case it's only going to cut those out. So you don't actually have to have the Pro version to cut by colour. According to the dialog, text within SVG and PDF files will be imported now. I haven't tested that one out particularly. It's not something I've ever really needed to do, but that is a new one on the list. In editing and designing, path divide, the intersection is cut out from both shapes, thus resulting in 3 shapes. I'm going to go for circles. Like this. There we go. Select this, go to path and divide. And we now have 3 shapes. There we go. Very useful. Nice to know we got that. There's another one which is path divide below, which is similar to intersection but retains the original below layer. So very similar, but just retains what you had in the first place. Now, next one, modify corners. Let's go for a library shape, shall we? And I'm going to pick this one up just to have something different on the screen. Make it a lot bigger. Okay, so this is in the editing and designing path. Round corners, so it's under the path menu and it will round them according to the figure in here. So there we go. And it has an auto preview on it, or you can update the preview and then click OK and it's changed the shape. Now this is great because it gives you greater access to different shapes without having to actually blend shapes together. This would have been a difficult shape to do otherwise. Okay, the next one is path flattening, and I know that this one is going to be a popular one, particularly with those who want to do vinyl cuts. I'm going to change the colour here and go for text. I'm going to put red text in, I think. Okay, and just go. Hello. There we are. So I've got some text and I've got a shape and I want to put it in here. Now, if I wanted to do that normally, I would go for a knockout effect, but you can't always do a knockout if it's got more than one layer of text and shapes and things like that. You can't necessarily do an object knockout. So you can go to the path and you can flatten it. Now it looks exactly the same, but if I take this, you can see that it's taken that out of there. Data source. I have done a separate video on data source. Data such as a list of names and addresses to fill shapes with each name, sequential dates and numbers, plus importing images and colours for different items. So you generally use a spreadsheet which has got the information. You import the information from a spreadsheet. Effects, line fill. We've got optional pattern fills besides straight lines. I've done another separate video on this one. And we have linear, fade radial, fade linear, contour and raise. I'm not going to show you all of them, but those are what we're talking about there. As I said, I did a whole video on that. Rhinestones, we have some different effects for rhinestones. So let's go to rhinestones. So we now have outline and fill. So you can have either or both. And what happens if you have a shape and you put rhinestones on? I'm just going to click OK there. And what you do is you select it, right click, break it apart. And then in the layers, you will see that we have the infill and we have the outline. So we can select, I've got it locked. Why did I lock that? I have no idea. We can select the outline and we can move that away. We can alter it. We can put it back again. So that's really a convenient thing to be able to do. You can add multiple outlines to a design. You've got different pattern fill options. If I go back to the rhinestones, here we go. We have these pattern fills that you can do as well. And there is a new apparel category with 14 additional templates if you want that kind of thing as well. Right, let's get rid of this. Change number 21, create any of 6 types of barcodes. that is under the effects menu. I have done a video on that. Effects, cast shadow. I've done one on that as well. Monogram, I've done one on that, and I've done one on rays. And I've also, I think I included one on rhinestone scatter. I think I did. I will very quickly do a little demonstration of that one. I think I did it, but I can't swear to it. Okay, so if we go up to effects and we do rhinestone scatter, we have various options of changing things, and you can change the color as well if you want to, or add custom colors. You can change the shape, and then you have these different things that would happen with this particular shape. So you could go for a contour and you click OK, and then you have your rhinestones around your shape. Useful if you want to do a combination of vinyl plus rhinestones, I would imagine. Tracing, on image tracing, you're able to change the current trace line to an offset or an inset path while still in the trace window. So basically you can do the offset while you're still tracing, and it will import with an offset or an inset depending on which you've set it to. A preview window. Now this will show up score lines. They've been added to the preview settings. If I select some of these, go to the wrench, and instead of cut, I put in score. If I go to the preview, you can see that those lines are showing up as green, and they are score lines. Score lines is a separate setting that you can set to have a different speed pressure than you have for your main cut lines. Stickers, card making, box making, all that type of thing. But there's only two things in the Pro version that aren't in the normal one, in the new menu that has come up. That's step-by-step cutting, cut everything within a threshold before advancing, and that's in your cut settings. So if you've got the Pro version, you will have that. If you don't have the Pro version, you won't have it. Of course, under the cutter, manage cutters, the Siser, Romeo and Juliet have been added. And under the help menu, you have online help by location in Shortcut Slot 6 with more screenshots and mini videos added. So that's the difference between version 5 and version 6. There are 31, and only 2 of those apply solely to the Pro version. So that's a lot of changes being made. And I think that when you consider that an upgrade from 5 to 6 is only going to set you back under $30, and the full version of number 6 is only going to set you back $60, I think that's very, very good value. So I do recommend that you download the free trial version, which is, I think, 15 days. You can't cut from it because it will put cut lines through your design, so don't waste your material trying to cut, but you can at least have a look at all the functions and test them out and see whether you like using the software. Okay, so that's it. That's my take on the differences between number 5 and number 6. Phew, a lot of things to cover. I hope you've managed to stick around to the end. Take care now.